Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Caleb.
And today we're gonna be doing a first part of the Turks, the FF7 novel. The kids are all right. Wait, Turks, the kids are all right. Well, what is the whole title?
I don't fucking know.
It's too long.
It's retarded.
So
it is the kids are all right, but it's like it has the Turks somewhere in there, and then it has some other intro.
Okay,
it's very Advent Children with the like 7 intros.
It'll whatever the actual title is going to be the title of this episode.
Yeah, that's what I titled the stream as too, but I'm not going to pull it up to look at it.
Okay, so we read the first 15 chapters. We were going to read the first 30, and then it just turned out to be a lot longer than it seemed like on the website that it's on. So this is from livestream.net. Who's it translated by?
It's translated by Pixel and I think MechWorks.
MechWorks and Pixel from Livestream.
Yeah.
So, yeah, first 15 chapters. It's like there's like 48 chapters total, right?
Yes, 48.
Okay. All right. So we might have it done by next time. Might not. I'm not sure. But first 15 are, in fact, done. And I got notes in front of me, and I'm totally ready to go. Schweiss, where are you in Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced 2?
Pretty much the same, kind of the same spot as last time. I'm trying to do most, if not all, of the side quests that the game has to offer because I want to unlock the Paladin Ninja dealio, and the best way to do that is to farm out items that you later sell in the bazaar to unlock the ability to buy weapons to then get abilities for your certain classes, which allow you to unlock more classes. Now, it's a lot of red tape, but it can be done. I did unlock Paladin, and I am working on...
Good.
I am working on getting that done, but still no ninja.
Did you jump up and, like, hurrah in the middle of your living room?
No.
No, I would have. After all the fucking time I put into the game to not get anything. But
yeah. It's, I don't know.
Thanks, Kingzilla.
I've been rocking that out. I haven't played very much of it, though. To be honest, I haven't really played much this week at all, which is kind of not good.
Nor have I.
But I have been doing tactics here and there. I've been doing a lot of dispatch missions, too. I've been hitting those pretty hard because I finally figured out, like, you know, the gist of it and, like, what I need to do and, like, a good way to level up the kind of lesser clan members.
Can you tell me the gist of it?
Well, it's the same as the first game.
I don't get it.
You just select dispatch. You have to choose a leader, and then they'll be doing either they'll be jumping up and down, they'll be walking, or they'll be, like, kind of slouched over.
They're only ever walking when
because your guys suck. That's what that means. Or at least they're not great. You can still do it if they're walking, but if they're slouching, you're probably not going to be able to do it. But choose the highest level character you have as your leader. That's the best way to go about it. And some of the guys I have are slouching because the game, as you progress, the game like throws new party members at you, and they're kind of just casual people. Like there are some that are main characters in the story, but like I got Sid in my party, but he's kind of a bitch now. Like everybody else is stronger than him, so I don't use him. So like I don't know, this is kind of a weird tactics where like they give you characters and they're not literal thunder gods, you know, so you don't want to use them necessarily.
Right. So you've just been trying to grind out those classes then, right?
I'll do every side quest that I can because there are some that are like really stupid where it's like sidekick wanted and you have to be wielding a mace is one of them, and I'm like, okay, I don't have that, so I'm not going to do it. I'll do all the ones that I can do, and then I'll do the main story quest.
Oh wow, okay.
So like I'm pretty far ahead of what I need to be. It feels like because when I get to the main story quests, for the most part, I kind of destroy them. There was this giant antlion fight that really pissed me off, but I only died once, and it was because I was kind of stupid.
Still no ninja.
No ninja, no.
How many hours you got?
Almost 19.
Still no ninja. God damn it.
I feel like I got ninja by 19 hours in the first one. I might be wrong though, but I was also doing everything in the first one too. So,
but getting the stuff in the other games is a lot easier than this.
Yeah,
one.
yeah. And in Tactics Advance, you could buy items from the store, just straight up buy items that would give you these abilities that we're trying to trying to grind out to unlock future classes. But in Tactics Advanced 2, it adds another barrier where you have to sell loot or trade in loot to then unlock the ability to buy the weapon, and then buy the weapon, equip the weapon for the allotted time, earn the ability, and then unlock the class. And I'm still one thief ability short, and there are no items in sight that are going to give me the thing. So I'm just going to work on getting the fucking paladin ground out, because I've got a ton of shit for paladin.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Okay, that's good.
What about you?
At least you'll have the paladin. I haven't moved since last week. I didn't touch the game at all. I didn't touch any game at all this week. Just been working on other stuff, and we'll also be working on other stuff next week, so don't expect a change in that respect. However, the 2 weeks after that, I am going to be plowing.
Well, this one, didn't we plan like late March for this review?
Yeah, this review is...
I feel like the math...
this review is out March 25th.
I feel like your math is awful. And it's not just like regular Joe math awfulness, but like because the thing is you said 6 hours a week, right?
6.1.
6.1 hours a week, and the fucking review is in a month. Like 24, 42. I guess maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be, and that's the problem
1, 2,
I'm running
3,
into.
4, 5, 6, 7.
It's 7 weeks away. Is that what you're saying?
7 from whatever the start of the calendar is.
So that'd be 42.
Is that 42? Okay.
That's about what it's supposed to be. So maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I didn't realize it, because I feel like I haven't played shit of the game. But maybe, I wonder if it's partially because I like fall asleep while I'm playing it. So
I don't know.
The clock is just like ticking as I'm just slumbering. But I don't know. It felt like it was wrong.
We can redo
but
the
I
math
guess
if you want.
I think it's right. No, because I think it was about 41 hours for
I think
game.
we were somewhere in the game, and then I just did the rest of it. I think. I hope.
Well,
either way, the games are spread out quite a bit, so that does give us enough time to beat these things, I think.
True, yeah.
We have every game listed on the weeks, so regardless of the amount of actual hours, those will be good dates to end games on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I just have played what I'm supposed to have played, and I just didn't realize it.
Yeah, I think so.
I've been losing time, I noticed lately. Like I was reading our quote unquote part 1 of The Turks Are All Right, the kids Turks.
The kids are all Turks.
Yeah, The Kids Are All Turks, part 1. Which of course we didn't actually read part 1. We read half of part 1.
Yeah.
Although part 2 is like half as long as part 1, so we're sort of like a third of the way done.
It's part 1 of their translation
and
process.
I looked at the clock, and it was like 12:02, and then I read like half a thing, and it was like 12:22, and I was like, what? And then like I took a nap. I took like a 4.5 hour nap after that, and I read through it like
4.5 hour nap.
Yes, and I read through it like crazy. So I think I'm like dazing off and losing chunks of time, like large pieces of the day. And it's probably because I had 3 hours of sleep.
You're dying
the
twice.
night before. It probably is that, but it was bad. I was trying to read this thing, and like I would lose 20-minute chunks of time and only do like half a thing. I think I must have been just like glossing over and just like fading away into nothingness. But afterwards, I plowed, and I probably could have done the first half. But
there's something about the typeface on the website, the white font against the black background. Not a fan of that. It hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
I had to put it on my Kindle as a PDF, and then I saw the real page length of the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not short. This is not short at all. It's only it's only a few web pages, but it's quite a lot of actual pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many is it?
Chapter 12 to chapter 30 is 78 pages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 12-point font times New Roman. No double space.
Kind of long, yeah.
Yeah.
So
it is kind of... It was a lot more reading than I
next
expected
time,
to do.
I do think we should have all of it done next time, though.
I got to work at FedEx this week, so I'm going to be...
Yeah.
Going to be brutalized, I'm sure. Yep.
I have to work too.
I know.
It's this thing that.
But I never know the amount of time FedEx is going to take.
These older people. These like people usually in their like 18, late teens till they die. Generally, it's something that we kind of do.
Okay. I have to read that, and I have to read a friend's house.
And you know what you don't have to read though?
I have to do that by Wednesday.
The Digimon cutscenes. You should read them though when you're streaming.
I'm not fucking reading anything while I'm streaming. I'm not doing it.
Are you? Have you been? You haven't been streaming. Of course, you haven't been playing it either.
I haven't been playing.
Okay. You people need to fucking help me out on this shit. Like it feels like I'm the only one streaming.
You people?
Yeah, you and Craig. Craig's in the room too. He's just not near a mic. So.
Yeah, Craig is also trying to talk to us, and he's not on the mic, so that's nice too.
Yeah. This thing was something else. This Turks are all right. But before we get into that, we do have a couple articles of Final Fantasy news that we need to dive into.
News.
All right, so first up in news, Final Fantasy XIV has a challenging new Eureka mission, and apparently it's going to bring back good and bad memories from Final Fantasy XI.
Oh my god, the controls?
Yeah, yes. It's supposed to be kind of brutal. It looks sort of like the Palace of the Dead, I think is what it's called, that we played. It has a similar progression thing. Apparently up to 144 players can occupy a single instance. And you can kind of form and disband parties with these players at will. It looks like there's a weird little elemental level up system. You progress. You all start at level 1, and you can reach level 20. So it's kind of like, you remember playing that Palace of the Dead, right? Where we started at level 1, and we had to like relearn all of our abilities as our characters, and like it got harder and harder as we went along.
That was in 14, yeah.
Yeah. It looks like it's gonna be something similar to that. There's a lot more added to it.
So how is
though.
it 11?
No, it's bringing back 11's brutality is what it's saying.
Oh.
So it's FF14. It's just it's kind of like touching on what 11 was.
An asshole.
Yeah,
okay.
Kind of an asshole. So if you're into 14 still, enjoy that. We'll eventually
You're behind.
We'll eventually play around with it, I'm sure. FF15, I guess, has a light sense of humor with their with the chibi, nonsensical look of the mobile version. I guess there's a little trailer here for that. Them making fun of themselves. We'll fucking watch this.
Once it loads.
Yeah, once it loads. Got a massively fast internet, but YouTube is just too much for it. That's great.
Well, you also have problems with the browser.
Chrome is just shit, man.
Cutting edge art from the hottest new artist.
Wait a second, I definitely recognize this style from somewhere. Okay, so they're at a little portrait place. I don't remember this in Altisha, but I guess it might have been there. They got a portrait of themselves done. And they're kind of freaking out about the art style in the game, so it's all of the characters. Oh, what? Yeah, so the art it's like them in regular Final Fantasy 15, but it's the chibi characters looking at it. And, that's actually pretty funny. That's
pretty good.
The chibi guys are like freaking out about how realistic they look, and they're like, I don't look like that.
Oh, that's great.
That's fun. That's fun that they're doing that. And then there's also a pretty raving review about the Pocket Edition. They said the changes, this is an article on Silicon Era, it says the changes make it kind of a more succinct story, less running around for hours and hours doing little fetch quests. Apparently, this guy likes the controls of the Pocket Edition quite a bit. I'm not going to read any more, but if you haven't played 15, or if you have and you want to play the Pocket Edition, I guess go for it, but I'm not going to buy the game yet again, so I'm not going to fucking do that.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, so Dissidia NT has version 1.04 and 1.05 updates that are available, and it adds a spectator and EX skill set copy functionality.
Yeah, that's what I always wanted to do, is to watch other people play.
Yeah, that is the whole idea of Twitch. Watch other people play video games. Apparently, you can have a total number of combined fighters and spectators per battle, up to 24 people. So you can all be hanging out, watching that exciting Dissidia Dudekheim 4. So there's another
That's
Final
the
Fantasy.
official name, right?
Yeah, it is. There's another FF15 multiplayer expansion,
Oh, God.
Comrades version 1.20.
When is it going to end?
We do have a little trailer to watch here. Let's watch it. Let's just watch it. We don't know anything about Comrades other than that it's multiplayer.
And unnecessary.
Yeah, well, it's never been necessary, but I kind of like the idea of it, and that's one of the things I complained about with 15 was the fact that we
Peggy 16
had a game that had 4 characters, but it was single player. It's like it's just begging. All right, so we've got some combat. Shit we've seen from 15, obviously with the new characters. It's got that sweet FF12 like MMO look to it.
You can mess with your character.
Oh, I can give it my disgusting emo fat guy from the fishing game. Thank God.
What's new between this version and the old one? Does it say in the article at all?
Between
Because all I'm seeing is a bunch of character changes. I don't know what's available right now.
for Comrades?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a whole new storyline. It's like a whole new thing that you can play with multiplayer with like your friends and shit. And there's this awesome looking like dragon chocobo fighting pit.
It's like you can fight the Wall of Death.
Yeah.
Gigantic chocobo. Arden is flowing locks in the wind.
That's right. I think it looks kind of cool. I mean, it's like I said before, it's a game that wants to be multiplayer from the get-go. So I mean, it makes sense to do. It makes sense to do this, but I don't know. I would rather play like the whole campaign solo or with friends. So, so yeah, all that shit's available. The Comrades is $20. And it will be included in the upcoming Royal Edition for PS4, which launches March 6th. So if you've held out on 15 to this point, you're crazy, but you can buy it.
Yeah, they're going to have the... What edition would come after the Royale Edition?
I don't know, the Emperor Edition.
The
maybe.
Emperor Edition of FF15.
Or just the Star Wars Edition, where it's everything. It's all the Final Fantasies that are Star Wars ripoffs. So 2... through 15, except for 13.
Wait, how is 15 a Star Wars ripoff?
I don't know. It just is.
Oh, okay.
It's got the Emperor. That's all it needs.
It's got it. Yeah, that's,
The Emperor sucks ass, though. So like, that's
yeah,
kinda...
Star Wars made up emperors.
They did, yeah. The Emperors weren't... Common misconception, Emperors weren't a thing before Star Wars. So 14, they've done this a couple times. Final Fantasy XIV has a giant snow sculpture.
Skullhottic calls it the Royal Flush Edition.
Yeah, that's what it is. That has projection mapping in the Sapporo Snow Festival. So we've seen a couple of these over the years.
Oh, yeah. We've seen the Sapporo.
It's pretty bitchin'. It's got some dragons, some things going on, and then that's the finished
light
product.
show in front of it to emphasize it. It's pretty cool.
It's awesome looking. I haven't been to a snow sculpture thing in years, but they're never quite that cool. So,
FF15 multiplayer expansion, Comrades, will let you pit chocobos against dragons.
Yeah, that's
dragons.
That's that weird new like boss battle thingy that we saw in that
cool.
expansion. So, I don't know. Hopefully, it's kind of like the fucking Colosseum thing that they had in Oblivion. I don't even ever played that game, but. You can go out and you can like fight different enemies and like have enemies fight each other and shit like that. So it kind of seems like that, but that'd be kind of cool if they added like an FF7 thing where you have to like level up the chocobo, you have to run around with the chocobo, and then you can send them in there to fight. But who knows?
You know what I think it would be cool? I think it'd be cool if they just left 15 alone.
Well, they can't leave it alone now.
Move on.
I can't leave it be now. It's too late.
Haven't you made your money back yet?
Oh, just you wait. So Dissidia Final Fantasy, I guess the next new stage is going to be the Orbon Monastery from Final Fantasy Tactics. So this is going to be the newest stage to fight on.
Beautiful high def stage right there.
It kind of looks like shit, to be completely honest. It looks pretty shitty, but I'm sure it'll look great in game. So stay tuned for that. That'll be nice to mess around in some tactics levels. I feel like I've read this multiple times, but I don't think we've done it on the show. There's an article that was released from PlayStation's European blog. It has the best Final Fantasy games as chosen by the franchise's creators.
Wow. So we're going to find out definitively what the best Final Fantasy game is.
Yeah, according to them. So Akihiko Matsui thinks FF2 is the best. Best character development system, high level of freedom, dramatic scenario was superb. Thinks it's a masterpiece even looking back at it now. It might be safe to say that the series didn't turn into a small collection of works because of Final Fantasy II.
I agree with that.
It was also because of this game that this person aspired to take part in the production of video games themselves. So it's kind of like to them, it's very impactful. Akitoshi Kawazu says best is FF5 because it's got the best battle system.
I pretty much agree.
Hajime Tabata surprisingly picked Final Fantasy 1 as
What?
his favorite. I'm surprised he wasn't.
Okay, he changes his mind every few years, doesn't he? What's
It's
the
like
fuck?
15's out. He's like, yeah, it's. I don't think.
Well, because it was 5 and then it was 9.
No, this is Tabata, not.
Tabata.
Not the Gooch.
Hajime Tabata.
Yeah.
What a wonderful name.
He says,
Got
as a
it.
player, you're suddenly thrown into the world of the game, but as you progress, you begin to see the story, and the title appears on screen with beautiful music. The gameplay style and direction.
That's a 15-second section.
Yeah, shown in the sequence is essentially the starting point for Final Fantasy. After taking on a mainline title myself, I understand this more than ever.
Wow. Okay.
Hiroki Kato says Final Fantasy Tactics, the world of Ivalice, and the job system are superb. The funny part about this, though, is this is a picture of Tactics Advance, which is not Tactics.
Way to go, PlayStation blog.
Yeah,
that's
good-
not even a PlayStation game.
Good work, dumbasses. That's a fucking Nintendo game. You squares. So Ichiro Hazama says best is FF6. The visuals using sprite artwork are beautiful and unparalleled, and the music is also fan-fucking-tastic. As we
Is that
all
what he
know,
says?
it is exactly what it says. It's
what
the
he
best.
Said. He said fan-fucking-tastic on the PlayStation blog.
As we all know, it's the best. The story for each and every character is drawn out in detail, and just the overall level of perfection as a piece of work is over the top. The title is what made me interested in the company called Square. Matomu Toriyama, of course, the best in his fucked up opinion is Final Fantasy 13 because he can confront any powerful enemy if he's lightning, who's the strongest heroine. So lots of incorrect
That's the
things,
reason?
That's
the reason?
Yeah, because he wants lightning as his
I can confront anything because I am lightning.
Because lightning is the strongest heroine in his mind. I don't know how I feel about that. But 13 it hurts.
No, not the best.
No, yeah, Terra. I think it's.
I don't think
Celis or
anybody
more.
would call 13 the best unless it was your first and one of your only Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
If you played like 13 and 2, I could see you saying that 13's the best.
Yeah. So Naoki Yoshida, Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 7. Rather than these titles
what a
being,
cheater! Fucking cheater.
Yeah. Rather than these titles being what I consider to be the best, I consider Final Fantasy 7 and 3 to be the most impactful. As for 7, the content of the game was impactful on all vectors, from the visual expression seen back then to the universe, character design, and volume of content. The power this title holds is similar to MMORPGs, and it's precisely worthy of being called the game that has it all. As for Final Fantasy III, I consider it a masterpiece in terms of the game's experience, since it essentially completed the Final Fantasy system from the early stages, such as the job system and active time battle. I feel like these two Final Fantasy titles serve as an origin and the reason the Final Fantasy series continues to this day. I'd also like to continue creating games that stack up against these titles, so I'd like to ask for everyone's continued support for the Final Fantasy series.
We talked about this with Hat last week a little bit, where it's like 3 to Famitsu magazine. That kind of tells us, how the Japanese player base thinks about these games.
Yeah, they fucking love that fucking
FF3
thing.
is seen as a big time classic in the series. We kind of look at it here in the West. Of course, we got the game way late,
and we got a weird version,
and we didn't get the regular version. We kind of look at it as kind of an odd one out.
Yeah.
I think if you're watching the games progress in time, it certainly expanded. Like, the world is bigger than either of the worlds before it. The story, not as emotionally in depth as number 2.
There's more though,
but there is more than like number 1.
And it did kind of spearhead the job system, which is a big thing.
And yeah, it improved upon 1 in such a huge way in terms of its gameplay. So I can see it being seen as something that like pushed the series forward. I just assume that it plays better than.
And you can also break damage limit in 3. It doesn't show you that, but you can. If you like keep an eye on the enemy's actual health, it'll do 4 9s, but it'll do like 13,000 damage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember us talking about that, but it
was awesome when I noticed it. But yeah, and then honestly, like 3, first one to do a true job system. I mean, you had the selection of jobs in 1, and then 2 has the kind of the Final Fantasy standard where certain characters have certain jobs. But 3, 5, it's fucking 10. I would say adds some semblance of a job system.
It does, yeah, and it's super open way.
Yeah, 11, 12, not really. 12 is everybody's just the same. 13 kind of has one that's similar. You get to kind of select your jobs. 14, obviously. Mm-hmm. So it's the job system is like a huge part of the Final Fantasy series, whether it's out in your face or not, especially with the MMOs. So 3 is very important when it comes to that. So Shinji Hashimoto says the best is Final Fantasy. Although 7 was the first title he took part in, when you consider the franchise's origin, it's none other than the first title in the series. The first title that led to Final Fantasy's 30th anniversary, The Warrior of Light. It was a profoundly memorable encounter.
Yeah.
Takashi Kitano, FF5, job system was outstanding and so fun that he put many hours into the game. Takashi Tokita, Final Fantasy IV, says the best Final Fantasy.
First time we've seen Final Fantasy IV on this list.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. It's an extremely difficult question. I haven't played all of the Final Fantasy titles, but if I were to choose one,
how dare he?
They would have to be FF4. It's not only because it was the first Final Fantasy title that I was deeply involved in, but because it also shaped the basis for how I make games, with themes such as light, darkness, the meeting and parting of characters. The fact that I was able to create its sequel, Final Fantasy IV: The After Years, was also quite moving. So kind of like a self-loving one, a bit.
Have fun with that name.
Kujiroka says FF10. I dwelled on the overwhelming emotion and sadness for about 3 days after the ending. While it was the first Final Fantasy title to be voiced, I felt that it already perfected its usage. This was also... yeah.
We have, to be fair, we have the
American one. Yeah, but it's got a great cast version for the most part. Like 2 big fucking voice actors worked on that game. This is also the first game I played for more than 100 hours and ended up playing 200 hours more after clearing the main game. I played through every single piece of content that was available, so this one was big for them. So Toshiyuki Itahana, Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 14. Why? Because Final Fantasy 9 is the most memorable FF title as a developer, because it greatly impacted the designs. As a player, you would consider Final Fantasy 14 to be the best title. There's no other MMO in the genre which he can resonate with the game's protagonist, the Warrior of Light, to this degree, where he considers the in-game characters as friends, occasionally resent them, and feel delighted about meeting them once again.
I don't think there's any connection between you and the Warrior of Light in any way besides the Warrior of Light is a MMO addict.
Yeah.
Wasting away.
Well, he's just your character, so yeah. I feel like he's living and crafting the future of this epic narrative in another world that truly exists, along with other players. So Kitase...
I never got that sort of experience where I'm like, I feel like I'm in the game with 14.
Yeah.
I felt it with some of the other games. I never felt it with 14 that way. I don't know. I don't feel the when I am the lead character in the game, I don't feel an emotional connection with it. I haven't yet felt that.
Where the character is basically just you.
Or the character is just you, and you
They
are
have very little personality, and it's
and you have no. Yeah, you're just a blank slate. That's never worked for me, really. I'm trying to think back. Maybe BioShock. That one might have worked.
Yeah.
Are you a character in BioShock? I don't think you are, really. You're just you.
No, you're kind of just you, yeah.
Okay, then BioShock is the one example where I would say that probably worked. Can't think
Grand
of
Theft Auto 3, that works, yeah.
You're not a character in 3?
He doesn't have a voice.
Oh, really?
He's kind of the silent protagonist, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's mute.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
But I don't know if it necessarily works in that. I think that was just kind of a thing for a while. They would just have silent protagonists.
It's been a thing since the beginning of video games.
Yeah, because they didn't have voice acting. But ever since they have, it's still been like this weird thing that they do occasionally. So, Katase, FF5, likes all the games, but has to choose 5 this time. It was the first FF title he took part in, and here you can find the job and ability system in its completed form.
But he made 6. Why would he say 5?
It's the first one he was part of.
Wow, 6 was only mentioned by one guy. That's interesting.
Yeah, so FF15's Windows Edition demo is launching tomorrow, a.k.a. today, as you're listening to this, on Monday, February 26th. So guys,
get it now.
And if you pre-purchase this game on Steam, you will be able to receive the Half-Life pack, which includes in-game costume for Noctis based on Gordon Freeman, the star of the legendary Half-Life FPS.
Gordon Freeman.
You get the HEV suit, the scientist glasses, and the fucking crowbar. So that's bullshit, but yeah, enjoy. Players who pre-order the game from Origin will get the FF15 decal selection, which contains an array of colorful decals for the regalia, celebrating the main characters and the men and women of Kingsglaive. So buy it on Steam, because,
buy it now!
As bullshit as that is to have a fucking Half-Life thing, I think it would be pretty sweet to use the crowbar.
You don't think of Final Fantasy when you think of Half-Life, or vice versa?
I do now, I suppose, but...
You do right now.
In this very moment.
Half-Life 3 confirmed, says the chat. It's pretty great.
Yeah, somebody... I saw a comment on one of those that was like some like math thing. It was like 15 divided by something. It must have been like 15 divided by 5, and there was a reason for the 5. And then they were like equals 3, and then Half-Life 3 confirmed. That was like one of the huge comments on the YouTube video.
Wow. Oh, that's funny.
That would be funny if that's the way they chose to do it. Speaking of Final Fantasy 15, I guess the devs hope Windows Edition will sell 2 million to help the game reach the 10 million milestone.
Which, until recently, was only held by 7, right? I guess maybe 10. Probably with all the re-releases of 10, it's probably gotten there. I would assume, right?
I would hope so, yeah.
I guess I haven't heard that confirmed unless we totally did on some news segment in the past, but...
I'm sure like 11 and 14 have sold that many.
No, they definitely haven't.
You don't think
11 sold 3 million on launch? I don't think it's come near that. It's made the most money, but that's because of subscriptions.
Yeah,
it's not
I don't know.
because of copies sold.
I bet you it's probably more like 7 million worldwide. I don't know if they care about 11 though anymore, like tracking who bought the game. Like it's all about the subs. That's what those MMOs are. So it's hard to.
But 11 only did 3 million at launch. And launch is going to be your.
That's
time
a lot of fucking games at launch, man. 12 only sold like 1.2 million.
No, I mean when I got the number for 11 when we did a history of whatever at some point, it was 3 million copies.
Wow.
So that's not a bunch. I don't think 11 sold nearly, like, as far as copies, it didn't sell nearly as much as the games around it.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
And then
over time, though,
the subscriptions,
it
would keep going.
I could see it getting closer to like 6 million, but I don't think it's going to touch 10 at least, maybe 12. But I still kind of doubt it. But so, final piece of news. Final Fantasy 15 will get 4 new episodes through 2019 to complete the Final Fantasy 15.
So it'll be done in 2020.
Yes.
It'll be done when we reach the year 2020. The game will actually be done.
So here's the Here's the thing. So, according to a user survey, the satisfactory rating of FF15's general scenario was 62.4%. When asked if that means we can expect to see even more satisfactory content for the DLC that's expected for release in 2018, Hajime Tabata said they won't be able to fit it all in 2018. And his reason for it is that he felt it was necessary to secure the appropriate amount of development time without having to focus on releasing it all within 2018. Tabata said that at first, the plan was to have everything done by 2018, but in order to face the satisfied 62.4% and wrap up 15, they'll need more time to do so without being restricted to that window. So we are going to be getting more episodes for Final Fantasy 15. That's kind of a lot. I mean, we're going to be looking at 7 episode blah blah blahs in the end.
I almost don't even want to talk about FF15's expansions anymore. Like I almost like if they come up on the news, I'm just gonna pass. I'm gonna pass by. Like I don't want to fucking talk about the new DLC coming out for 15. That's just gonna piss both of us off.
I don't know. It could be fun, but it's at least now if we ever play them, once it's done, we'll have like 15, 16 hours worth of game to go through. That's new.
Yeah. New game plus with new game.
Yeah. It'll be a completely new experience for us if we go back to it. Which I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Because over time, like it becomes distorted and you kind of forget what's real. That's what I learned with Game of Thrones. Versus like the Song of Ice and Fire books, like as time went on and I watched the seasons of Game of Thrones over and fucking over again, my sense of reality became warped, and I was like, oh yeah, this, he trained with Bronn. Jaime trained with Bronn. Like yeah, he trained with Bronn. Like okay. And it's like oh yeah, Arya served Tywin Lannister as his cupbearer for a while. It was Tywin. It fucking wasn't in the books. And like it gets twisted and turned and like corrupted over time, and I
fear
memory
gets corrupted.
I fear that's what's going to happen with 15. I'm going to forget all the things that I bitched about, and it's just going to become.
Well, luckily there is a 5-hour breakdown as proof. Our old FF episodes. Are we going to talk about this Turks novel?
Yeah, let's get into it. All right, so as we said earlier, we are reviewing Final Fantasy VII Lateral Biography, Turks. The kids are all right.
We said all those things.
We did say all those things.
Lateral Biography?
Yep.
Okay.
So it was written by Kazushige Nojima, and it was illustrated by Shuo Tajima. It was released in Japan on December 15th, 2011. And the English translation is complete on livestream.net. And we will have a link to that in the episode's description if you guys want to read along with us.
Yeah, we're just going to read it, right? 120.
I kind of wish I could.
Book, yeah.
I kind of wish I could, but I do not. I don't really want to do that. I'd have to fuck with it a lot. And no. So part 1 features our main protagonist here. His name is Evan Townshend, who is a founder of the Morelli Detective Agency.
By the way,
he grew up in Midgar, Sector 6.
You don't know Evan's name
for quite some time
until chapter 3 of this thing.
Yeah, so basically he is a dude. They run like some weird Ponzi scheme where it's like they pretend to be able to find people, and they're like some joke detective agency.
So there's a few people involved. So there's a guy named Fabio, which may be the worst chosen name for any serious character. There's Fabio, and then there's Kyrie. And Kyrie pretends to be like a seer, psychic or a seer that talks to the live stream in order to solve cases for people whose stuff or loved ones have gone missing. And really, they use it as a ploy they're actually trying to solve the cases, but at the same time, they're also fooling people into
They're giving them they're giving them like some sort of resolution, some sort of finality to the loss of the family member. Because I mean, this is post FF7, so there's a shitload of people that have geostigma. There's a lot of people that just got liquefied with the live stream. Like shitloads of people died at this point. There are so many people missing. I'm reminded of something similar to like the 9/11 memorial that we went to, where like we saw like all those photos of people's like missing posters and shit like that, and that was like the darkest thing. First fucking day we go to New York for the KupoCon thing, and that's what we did.
Welcome to New York.
And I'm like, wow, I feel like shit today now. I'm like, that was deep. And like that was the part that was like the most fucked up for me. I was like, that's harsh, man. So that's what this is. But these people are capitalizing on that like assholes, and kind of coming up with like little stories like, oh, they joined the live stream and they're happy. And they tell you that you had a nice ass in your 30s, but now it's gone flat. So, shit like that. Like some weird prophetic nonsense that they do in this.
Very prophetic.
Yeah. So, but before...
Unnamed protagonist, shitty mom, leaves with a guy named Nick Foley.
Oh, yeah. And then the guy, the unnamed protagonist, goes up into the attic, right? It's because they have this, like, secret treasure chest of treasures. Of course, that's what you put in a treasure chest. And he's like, oh, my mom saves weird things, and just casually talks about how his fucking umbilical cord is saved in this chest. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Is that like a normal thing in Japan?
Is there ever going to be a Final Fantasy anything that I don't go, holy shit, to? Like, at least once? Like, just, like, totally fucking caught off guard? Like, that's what this was.
Well, they seemed like a group of shitty people. So I was like, okay, weird umbilical cord thing. I kind of just like went right past it.
I was stuck on that for minutes.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, is it in some like pickle jar? Like just fucking like like Silence of the Lambs, or the guy's face is in the jar? Like, is that what it is?
And dry it up in the window or something.
Yeah, or do they dry it? Is it like jerky, umbilical cord jerky?
Umbilical jerky.
Yeah,
that's good.
They smoked it for like months, so it just never loses its flavor. So one day he will enjoy his own fucking umbilical cord.
You eat this on your deathbed.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, it's some weird like ritual.
Weird ritual.
You eat it as you're dying, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, so he's left alone to see the world about to end.
Yeah. Oh, and this guy is our good friend Evan Townshend, who still has yet to be revealed to us.
Yeah.
He doesn't know his father, and his mother, from a young age, has told him, your father was blown to bits by a Wu-Tai landmine. Like, what kind of fucked up thing to say to a kid is that? Like, where's my daddy? Oh, he was blown to pieces by a landmine. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, fucking A, man. Like, just keep it to yourself. Like, and the thing is later on it turns out to be false. So she made that up. She sat down and is like, okay, what can I tell my son when the day comes where he finally realizes, hey, how come everybody else has a dad and I don't, Mom? Oh, I got it. He was blown up by a fucking landmine. Your dad got gibbed. He's in tiny pieces strewn about a field somewhere far away.
Wow.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. You could say he died in a landmine because of a landmine, I guess.
Yeah, I would say he died in the war.
Hey,
that's what I would say.
Pieces, that's a quick death.
Yeah, I suppose.
Just a lot of pain and then nothing.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So chapter 2, we go from first to third person. Now we're with Rufus, Shinra, and the Turks at Cliff Resort.
Yeah. Oh, soon to be Healing
Lodge.
Yeah. Healing.
So they went they want Genova because Rufus wants to bring geostigma to an end somehow through Genova. I didn't understand what the hell this was. Apparently there's some medicine that Elena created the foundation to create the medicine for. And Elena is suspicious when one of her medicine labels is removed and has to chase after a fat kid into the forest. And then turns back after getting a phone call because apparently the fat kid stole
the cure,
and they're selling it or something.
It's not so much a cure as it is a...
Yeah, it's like a
suppressant
Yeah, suppressant.
that stops working if you use it too much.
Yeah, and also stops working if you don't use it at all, of course. So
And that's
it's
how
fucked up.
Singh somehow finds out about a man named Fabio Brown.
Yeah, Fabio Brown. That's one thing I just wrote. I just wrote Fabio Brown. And of course we think our main character is Fabio because
And you know he has really long hair.
yeah, and it flows at all times. It's
yeah.
just constantly windblown.
He's a beautiful man.
So
as I
there's
know.
another part. So they basically find your character. They find Evan, and they beat the shit out of him because they think he's Fabio.
They think he's Fabio, yeah.
And he doesn't have the medicine, so like the Turks just kind of do their thing, bully him up, take off, and then we get this weird line where the guy talks about his blonde brown hair, and I guess that means he's a spoiled brat. Like he's like, oh, everybody thought I was a spoiled brat with my blonde brown hair.
Did he dye it blonde? Was it like Tips?
Maybe if it's Tips, he's not a brat. He's just kind of a douche. But like,
Well, it wasn't douchey when it was in,
it was douchey when it was in.
but was it?
Are you
in-
telling me
in
that-
2011?
Yes,
Was it?
yeah, it was. You know what's douchey now? Man bun. Man bun was douchey the day it existed, and
Dude,
it will
no.
be douchey the day it dies.
Tips were not in the United States 2011. No, not at all. Not at all. You'd be looking at like 2003 at the latest.
For Tips,
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
Yeah. Don't worry, everything's coming back, including the high-waisted jeans, which are disgusting, and people need to stop wearing the high-waisted
But that's the thing,
jeans.
though, is to me, it's always douche. Like I'm saying, the man bun is douchey. It has always been,
Okay.
always has been, always will be. When it dies, it'll still be douchey. In 20 years, they're not going to be like, the man bun wasn't douchey when it came out. Yeah, it was. It was douchey to everybody that just had regular fucking hair and was like, wow, that looks awful. Always.
Do you hate the man bun more than the high-waisted jeans? The high-waisted jeans are driving me nuts, dude.
Some old people still kind of high waist jean, but it's not the same.
Dude,
It's
we looked, as 90s kids, looked back on high-waisted. Now, we had terrible jean things, too, where it was, like, super baggy and disgusting.
yeah.
Got it. Horrible, right? Okay, horrible. Don't worry. Let's not do that either. But the high-waisted jeans, man, and the high-waisted shorts with the tucked-in shirt, what the fuck is going on? It's like
Yeah.
everything that was disgusting when I was a teenager or a kid is now come into fashion with like the 19 and 20-year-olds that I'm seeing, and I'm like, it was only fucking 5 years of difference. What the hell? What the hell is this?
Something went wrong.
It's gross. I don't want to see that much of your ass ever. It's like up there, and it's just mommy jeans to me. That's what that looks like, is mommy jeans.
Yeah.
It's not sexy. It's not good for anyone. Fucking stop with the high-waist jeans. Dang it, just stop. It was old and gross looking before. Now it has come back in to style. That and like really baggy sweat shirts with the tight ass fucking pants too. I'm mad right now. Mad at everything style. So you're a brat if you have blonde hair.
Yeah. If you have blonde hair.
If you have blonde.
Oh, yeah. Roxo, hipster glasses are in now, too. Like glasses that you'd get made fun of like 10 years ago for. With the huge rims. Yeah.
I've always been into the huge rim glasses.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
I want to get contacts. I don't even want these.
Yeah.
Well, I can't imagine how awful it would be if like a contact got dirty, but that'd be kind of crazy.
Well, you wash them like every night, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never actually tried them, so.
Oh.
But yeah, it's
I
a
think your
thing.
glasses are fine there. Twice.
They're a pain in the ass. And the problem with the glasses is like when you lose them, you can't find them because you can't see anything. You're like, it's a fucked up system where it's like, wow, maybe if I
Wouldn't
could
it
see.
be worse with the contact?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it would be because I'm like, fuck, where's this little tiny little plastic motherfucker? Yeah, it would be awful.
All right, so Evan then, despite the fact that people are looking for Fabio and beating up people for it, decides to meet Fabio at the seventh heaven. And that's where we find out that Fabio is the one stealing the medicine. And Leslie, who I think is a man, is living with a woman, about to have a child. I have a note here that says fruit's expensive. Apparently in this world, Kyrie is the other one. Sad Leslie might not join them for other jobs because he's pregnant, or I don't know is Leslie a man or a woman?
Leslie's a chick.
That is, she's a woman. Okay, the way it was written in the translation.
No, there was a part that said he for Leslie.
Oh my god!
There was a part that
it must
said
have just
he.
been a typo.
It was.
I was freaking out, dude. I had no idea. I was like, he's pregnant?
Like, excuse me?
Maybe they mean his wife, or
Pregnant man gives birth. It's a fact.
And then I put chapter 5. Elena's mad.
Yeah, Elena is mad, but she does have a big soft spot for
Fabio's little brother, who, of course, is the one that Fabio stole the medicine for. We then get this weird situation where Rude and Reno come and kidnap and capture the chick whose name I already forgot.
Kyrie,
yeah. and our main buddy, not Fabio. And she accuses Rude of grabbing her
ass.
And, like, there's a part where the main guy thought that she got stabbed in the ass. He's like, oh, did she get stabbed in the ass just now? And I'm like, what? It's a weird place to stab somebody. And then, like, as like the Turks are pulling these people away in, public, she starts, like, yelling around, like, saying that Rude is, like, grabbing her ass and, like, trying to get people to, like, help her. Like, oh, he's molesting me. And I was like, this is uncomfortable. And, like, I can't imagine, like, I don't know, like, who's going to stop them? Like, it's the Turks. Everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows they'll fucking kill you just as soon as look at you. So, like, why would you be like, oh, yeah, grab my ass? Like, they're not going to care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares in this world. Like, it's, and then there's like a hand holding part where, like, he grabs her hand and then someone yells, like, get a room. I'm like, what? It just felt like,
I don't remember that.
It felt unnatural.
Oh, was that Reno and her? Or?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That whole section was, like, really weird, like ass grabbing and, like, uncomfortable.
Ass grabbing, and they're sort of kidnapping him, sort of not. They go with him anyway. It was kind of confusing to me. Anyway, they're taken to the Healing Lodge, right?
Yeah, Healing. They're taken to Healing.
Taken to the Healing Lodge, which is the same place they were in before. And that's where they meet the President Shinra and the son, the younger guy who survived and shouldn't have survived.
Rufus, yeah.
Right, Rufus Shinra.
Oh, yeah, there's another retcon for that in this. By the way, we're getting close to that.
Oh! Yeah, it doesn't even match with the fucking book we read before. So that's... I don't know. Okay. On the drive there, by the way, Kyrie apparently knew Aerith as a kid.
Yeah.
We needed to know that for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, and then there's this is one of the things that I will comment that I think is positive. The dialogue, this thing is kind of, I hate to be a dick, but it's kind of poorly written. Like, quite poorly at times. And it's very difficult to tell who's talking. But one thing that made it kind of easier is, like, whenever Reno would be talking, I could tell it was Reno. Like, the way he talks in the writing and the things he says, the way he phrases things felt very natural for his character in this. And that's one of the positives that I have. Thank you for taking a shit right behind us, Craig. One of the positives that
he
I worked
didn't even
on,
go into the bathroom. He took a shit right here behind us while we were
on the
recording.
table.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he mentions here is that, like, the girl talks about the flowers, and then, like, Reno's like, oh yeah, she is pretty fussy about those flowers, because, like, there's a scene where in 7 where, like, he comes in because they're always, like, trying to get her in 7, like, that's the big thing in the beginning. They're trying to kidnap her, and, like, she tells him to, like, stay away from the flowers. So I was like, oh, that's kind of good. They're, like, kind of staying true. It feels natural. Yeah, that doesn't last though. They kind of shit on it a little bit later. And one of the other things I noticed about this was it kind of took one of the initial ideas for FF7, the Detective Joe thing.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of put a spin on it. So, like, it kept that alive in a way by having this, like, bullshit detective agency thing that they have in this little novel, and, like, put a little spin on it. So I think that is totally a remnant of that initial idea.
You think so?
For FF7.
Do we have any way to confirm that, or
No,
just some feelings?
Just I feel like that's probably where it came from. Was the initial initial concept for it. So
Okay, so then we get the big retcon when they're talking to Rufus Shinra.
Yeah. Oh wait, well, before that though.
Sorry.
One thing I wrote down was security check in quotations. They find a knife on your guy, and he like leaves it on him. Rude's like,
He's
I'm
like-
gonna leave this.
Well, he didn't stab him yet, I think is what the implication was.
yeah, he's like, I'm gonna leave this just to show that I trust you. And I'm like, why have a security check if you're just gonna let people walk in with knives? Like, what the fuck? All right, security check. No, just kidding. Go ahead. Go on through. Through. Yeah, and then we get the fucking bullshit retcon. It says, the one who died was my substitute. The one who died in the tower was my substitute. So first we had to swallow the pill that was we made a fucking escape chute through the entire 7 million floor Shinra building.
slide.
A little slide on the outside of the building with water. And as he was getting obliterated by the fucking weapon that shot the shot into the building, he went down this water slide in his little tube. He got on his little water tube and slid down to safety. We had to swallow that pill, and now apparently the one who died was his substitute. So it wasn't even him.
Okay.
So did he die? Did the man we saw die in that cutscene in 7 die? Or did he slide down the escape chute? Or did we see a cutscene with the original guy or with the fucking the fake guy die and the real guy went down the chute? What is this? What is this shit?
You pretty much just said everything I thought.
I'm like, and then why
It's
would
real stupid?
why would 7 show us this man dying? And then later they're like, no, we're just kidding. It was a shoe-in. It was a pretend Rufus. I'm like, well, why? Why would you? They didn't. They
Why
thought
did
of
they
all
have
of
to
this.
further retcon it?
They've thought of this way after. There's no way that was intended. Like
No.
the Sang thing, I can believe that's a bad translation.
And this is Nojima. He's the one who wrote the scenario
and
for 7.
we didn't see Sang die. We saw Rufus die.
Yeah, we saw Rufus
saw the
blow
fucking
the fucker.
Floor
Yeah.
get blown up. Everything sweep off the building. Gone.
This retcon's worse than the other retcon, though.
Yeah. Oh, this one?
Because
this
it's
is
like,
worse than the
remember
slide.
in FF7, this thing that you saw,
Yeah, yeah.
it isn't what you saw.
This one's worse because we already got retcon once, and now we're getting the retcon. So, like, I don't even know what's real anymore.
Retconception.
Yeah, I think they just cancel out, and he's not actually part of the movie. And
He's not even there.
and this is what happened. So, all of Advent Children, everything that happened after 7, it's okay. So it's like in Legend of Zelda, where Ocarina of Time is one storyline. Like, that game is one storyline, and then the one with the giant moon that I've never actually played
Yeah.
kind of like brings off another storyline. Oh, no, it's when that one breaks. It's when the moon lands and like destroys the planet. There's like one branch of reality that exists, and then when it doesn't, when you succeed in stopping it, there's another line, and then there's like 2 different lines of Zelda that continue, right? So this is the FF7 where Cloud doesn't reach Tifa's hand, and he falls back into the live stream. This is all
okay.
his delirium as he's dying.
See, I was thinking it was Rufus Shinra's thoughts
As he died,
as he dies.
it's like, man, I wish I would have built a chute or had a shoe in. I think that's what it is. So Cloud in this scenario and in Advent Children. So all of the things that I don't like about FF7 that actually have nothing to do with FF7, other than they call them FF7 and pull characters from them. Cloud didn't reach Tifa's hand. FF7, he did. He reached it and like it's just over. Like that's where it ends. Is 7. But everything else on top of that is him like just slipping through.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's fan fiction. That's what this is.
I see that. I would call it fan fiction if it weren't the original fucking writer.
Yeah.
It's just bad. Anyway, we also find out, spoilers if you haven't read it, Evan is apparently Rufus Shinra's half brother. Is that right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
his dad is President Shinra.
So is that why they took him?
Yeah,
Okay.
they want him to be like, I think they want him to be another shoe-in.
I wonder what they were gonna do with Evan if Evan didn't like get away right after this.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, like what was the thing? Was he like, well, you're my half brother, so here's a fortune?
he did give him money. Yeah,
One thing that I did say, I was like, this. It kind of makes President Shinra seem like a Zeus-like figure, you know, because he's like this god among men, this big fat bastard, and he's like way richer than the rest of the world, and he just comes down and like impregnates these like common women and gives birth to these like demigod figures, such as Evan Townsend and Reno. That's kind of the feel I got from this, and then of course Rufus is totally of the 1%, because like one of the last things the story has, it kind of like paints him as like this super rich guy, and he's like trying to imagine being poor, and like he just can't do it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
You know, something I learned on Freakonomics, it was about people who take over for CEOs when the person dies. And in the West, it usually goes to the next person in charge of the company. But in Japan, it goes to the family member. But the thing is that it's successful over in Japan usually, and it's almost never successful in the U.S. When the next person who takes over is a family member, the company usually goes down. There's rare exception to it. I think Budweiser was one that was like a pretty big exception, but then you could see like certain generations of people would treat the business poorly or would have like bad spending habits or something like that their father didn't build up if it like went to the son. In Japan, though, it's like the thing to do is to give it to the son.
That's really weird.
It's like the thing to do is to give it to the son. And if they don't have a son, they will adopt the next person in the company. Like it's normal. The next biggest
Daddy?
person in the company will then become legally their son in order to take over the business.
So here's what it is. Japan raises men, and the United States raises little pussies that can't run shit and blow their money. Is that what you're saying right now?
Yeah.
We raise failures as a whole. They can't manage a business.
I would say that does seem to be the case.
I mean, their debt GDP thing is awful, but
it seems like usually when like one guy goes from middle class to super rich in his lifetime,
it's terrible.
He's really good with money and with the company, and then his son is usually a piece of shit.
I guess that is kind of true.
That is stereotypically the way it is. Wow. Think back to all the rich kids you ever knew.
They were pretty shitty.
Tell me how shitty they were.
They were pretty shitty.
Shitty. I knew one that was kind of good, but it then had some like bad spoiled moments. They're the ones that in Mapleton have the big freaking huge Walmart of a house for out in a field somewhere. He was my drummer in one of my bands as a teenager. But yeah,
that is weird. Yeah,
it is weird. You would think that the person who would... I wonder what it is. I wonder why... What do the Japanese do parenting-wise that...
They're just brutal. That's probably what it is.
Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea what it would be. But apparently... And the Freakonomics episode, I wish I could bring it up.
It's that work ethic. It's the, you're not a doctor yet mentality thing. Like, it is a stereotype that we have, but they do go to school a lot longer than we do, so they're like stricter about that shit. So maybe that's it.
I don't know. It's interesting,
but they do spend more than they fucking make.
So we're looking right here. We're looking at this story, and like it's a big deal to be the son of that guy.
Yeah, it's huge. So they're giving this guy like this is a big moment for this man.
Yeah,
and he runs away
and he gets the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I'm like
he leaves with the mayor. And with Fabio.
The useless mayor. There's also a moment where Cloud's like longtime buddy is in the story too. The ducktail guy, ducktail haircut, Johnny. That was kind of cool, but he's a character that you literally see twice at the very beginning of episode 7. So, but he's there. He's there. Tifa's there.
So that's my first 15 chapters. Pretty much a good amount of bullshit. Reno and Rude, though, make a lot of appearances. That's probably the biggest positive so far.
Yeah, and like I said, I do think they are. I think they're written pretty well for their characters. I think it fits extremely well, which is good because this thing is rough to read up to this point.
As it is right now.
As it is, yeah. I don't know if what the original version of it looked like, but there's a lot of moments where there are 3+ people in one specific area, and there are people talking. And I can tell, I can tell that, like, okay, there are at least 3 people talking in this section of text, and there is no indication who's who, other than like, oh, I can tell that's Reno because he talks that way. Like that's just how he talks.
So would you ask the live stream to do get an editor in there and just
maybe? I mean, I wonder how much of it is
in the original text.
Yeah, is in the original text. I know there's some of it.
There's a bunch of sections where you don't know who's talking in the original text.
Maybe. Yeah, and that's the thing.
I kind of doubt it, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. So this is the first live stream production that we've read. Every other one has been read
Instead
to
of
us.
Listened to. That's a good point. So we heard the voices before.
I do think there's a lot of stuff that needs to be edited in this, even as it is, because there's some stuff that's just wrong.
But we wouldn't have it without it, so I'm not
that is
complain.
true. I'm not going to shit on it. I'm just saying, like, you try to get another editor to take another look at it.
Any English majors out there listening? Maybe
or people that just went to college,
volunteer a little bit
3 years ago and did English in college, and then like myself. So, that, and then there's some weird formatting stuff.
Volunteering twice?
Yeah, I would do it. I found half. I think I found like 80 to 90% of the problems.
Okay.
And then there's a weird thing they do where they'll have a line of dialogue and then like it'll skip to the next line and it'll say like Rufus said.
Yeah, it's on a new paragraph.
And I'm like, I'm looking at it and I'm like,
line.
okay, is this? And then eventually it occurred to me that it was okay. This is what they're saying. The last paragraph is this person.
I'm kind of getting used to it.
And I am too, but it's not. It's just kind of messy. I don't know. It's weird. And it's just a weird formatting thing. But I can't wait until they do.
Be prepared.
Yeah, be prepared if you guys are going to read along with this. It's kind of rough at first, but I do think the story is kind of interesting. There's not really that much going on, though, is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I think about it, I'm like, okay, so there's a cure, and they're stealing the cure, but Shinra's going to give the cure out anyway. Like, where is this going to lead? What is this going to be? Is this going to be...
Also, where are they running away to and why?
Yeah, like, what is the point of this short story? And I don't know.
It's a novel.
Yet. Is it a full novel?
It's a goddamn novel.
Okay.
If chapter 12 to 30 is 78 pages...
That's true. Novels...
it's a goddamn novel.
Yeah, that one Ayn Rand book I read a while ago, that was technically a novel. And that thing was not very long. So this fucking
Atlas Shrugged?
No. No, that was fucking huge.
Oh, yeah, that was like...
It was she has like one really short one, and I just read it at work because it was like PDF online or something.
Oh, so you stole it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's free. It was free for me at that moment in time. I don't know. I just found it.
Whoops.
But yeah, it's a little rough to get into. But if you love FF7, it is a completed translation, even if rough in a couple patches. So go check it out.
And we'll be sure to repeat this entire section next time.
Yeah,
as well.
And I'm sure they did a great job. And I do think they did overall a pretty fucking good job.
It's hard work to go through and translate all that.
Yeah, yeah. It really is. I'm not someone that's ever done that, but and it's tough because there are language barriers and there are like phrases that the Japanese probably use that we would never use. So you have to like, okay, what is this phrase? What does this mean? Yeah, what does this mean? And what can I put in place of that? To make it resonate with American audiences. So it's tough, but
English speaking.
Yeah, English speaking.
Just American audiences.
Yeah, those British, and
Canadians and Australians and New Zealanders.
Yeah, not
South
for them.
Africans.
It's not for them. It's for us.
Okay.
Yeah. So
right.
Thank you, live stream, for your translation. Next time we will review chapter 16 through chapters, 42?
48.
48.
I'm thinking we might just go to 30 next time.
You think so? We'll do a 3-parter.
Do a 3-parter.
I guess we could probably do that.
Yeah.
We got enough empty slates coming up. And I mean, and we only read.
Well, you can only say it a little bit worse than that.
Right, well, we have. It's not empty slates.
I ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah, we got. It's either that or some bullshit episode. It's up to you guys. But I feel like 15. The first 15.
History of Square Enix. You got Mythic Origins of the whatevers.
Yeah.
Hey, when is that fucking anthology book coming out?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'll have to look at that. Maybe we can go over some of the shit.
The
in there.
Ultimanias.
Yeah, because we're finally getting one.
We do a lore deep dive.
We're finally getting one. We need to do a 13 deep dive too, but honestly, that's gonna make me start drinking again. I just know it is.
All right.
The 13 deep dive is gonna really make an alcoholic out of me, and I can only wake up so many nights in a row with a fucking Charlie horse from drinking all that beer. Has that ever happened to you?
No,
dude.
Not from drinking beer. Last time I had a Charlie horse, I was working at scout camp, so I was just walking around a lot. That'll tighten up your legs.
Oh yeah, if you're dehydrated all the time, you will have that very badly.
I woke up like The Exorcist. Scared the shit out of the guy who's in my tent with me. Just reeling around. Dude, it gets cold up in the mountains. So like me like getting out of the sleeping bag, just like grasping my knee. Like usually in the morning you're like, I don't want to move, but I was freak. It hurt, man. I was like, oh shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, you're with all these Mormons like, fuck.
They heard me swear a few times.
Oh, okay.
That's for sure. I only swore in front of the kids once.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. For the children, I kept it to the children. I only called them little fuckers. No, everybody else.
I never said fuck. I think I did say shit.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was hard.
The last time I had one, I had it in both legs, and I had to like.
How does that happen?
Very painfully, and I had to like scoot myself off the bed.
Calcium or potassium that you got to take to get rid of those things?
I don't know. I was just dehydrated. I know when you get dehydrated, your like shit tenses up, you know. And it was both legs at the same time.
Your muscles.
Yeah, your muscles. And I was just like, oh God. And like when you're still kind of drunk, it takes a minute to remember that you need to stand up. So I was like sitting there, like I was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is happening to me right now? I'm just like seizing. And I had to like slowly like wriggle my way to the edge of the bed, and then just like, oh God. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what 13's deep dive is going to do to me because it's painful.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll have to happen.
You get drunk enough that you have enough Charlie horses to say that this is something that happens when you're drunk.
Yes.
You know, the Charlie horses are bad enough that I would not drink ever in order to avoid a Charlie horse. That were something that happened to me.
They do get pretty fucking bad.
It's like, I think that the reason I had migraines over the last... I had 3 migraines in a period of about 6 months. And I think the reason why is because I was drinking energy drinks. And you know what? The day when I realized that the what I had eaten on all 3 of those days is I stopped. I haven't drank an energy drink for like 2.5 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because of that goddamn migraine. It's like I think that's the reason I'm having the migraines, because it's like twice as much caffeine as I'm supposed to have, or whatever other chemical is in that energy drink.
Maybe.
And
I just love it because I'm kind of hoping that cause you're kind of like you're like not only a skeptical man, but a man who doesn't believe in anything that doesn't happen to him. So I'm kind of hoping
true.
I'm kind of hoping that over time, everything that you've like denounced just happens to you.
It's mostly been
pretty soon. You're going to be like, colon cancer. That's made up.
ODD.
It's
oppositional defiance disorder.
Is bullshit.
Bullshit. Absolute fucking
what about
bullshit.
Oh shit, what's the one where you just
because that's just mad teenager disease.
Yeah.
Isn't that just normal? You are defiant against most people. I mean, if I guess I have oppositional defiance disorder if I agree with you more than once or disagree with you more than once or whatever. Come on.
What about the what's the one where you feel
I have ODD? I'm an asshole. I have asshole disease.
Yeah.
God damn it, dude.
What about what's the one where you feel you just get like dizzy and you just feel gross every once in a while? I can't remember what it's called. It's like
I don't know. I have that all the time.
Well, I feel gross now because I'm eating like insane amount of garbage.
I saw you ate 2 pieces of pizza and then washed it down with some Reese's
with some puffs. Are you saying you don't wash down your pizza with some puffs?
I'm just saying that looks like a binge. That doesn't look like breakfast.
It's breakfast,
and I personally only save binges for night.
It's 11sies too because it was early. I was doing it early, but.
All right. Things that I think are actually bullshit. I do think ODD is bullshit.
Okay.
I legit think that's bullshit. I think some people are told they have ADD and don't actually have ADD. I think that's possibly. I think that's something that's doled out a little too much. It's the ADD thing. There are people I know that definitely have ADD, and then there are people I know that have been told they have ADD and probably don't have it.
Yeah. Honestly, though, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if you're told you have it. The problem is that...
The problem is being told you have ADD, and thus I can't.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the personality test thing.
Like,
people
no,
are...
you have ADD, and thus you have to make up for it. Not you have ADD, and thus you can't.
You have an excuse. Yeah, that's the part that annoys me. Is like people that take personality tests. They like become really obsessed with it. I know you do this too.
I am obsessed with it.
Where you're like, well, I mean, I'm only a little bit outgoing. I'm like, no, you were at the time. Like, you don't have to be what the personality test says you are, and you can't be like, well, it said I was a dickhole, so I just have to be a dickhole all the fucking time. It's like, no, that's not really how that works. It's yes, it might be more prominent, but you still can work towards not being a fucking asshole, like if you want. I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you're not, but I'm just saying like. It's something that people use as like justification for stuff, and that's what makes the ADD thing annoying. Is like I don't have to concentrate because I have ADD. Like, well, you got meds for that. Like that they have things that can help you.
You got meds for it. You have certain things that you have to, just deal with in your life. Like I get swings of depression. I don't have depression all the time like some people do. I get swings of it. So I'll have like a couple months, a year. I'll just be like. I'll just go nuts, basically, and just, like, not want to do anything and just want to, like, fucking kill myself. Not actually kill myself. I haven't gotten to that point. But, like, I'll just feel like I don't want to do anything. And it's at that point that you need to do something. You don't just sit around and go, oh, I have depression. You have to actually, like, make up for it in some way. And if that means that it's so bad that you have to be medicated, then you have to be medicated. I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I have a disease. Well, then do something so that you can live a normal life. It's not so that everybody else can just,
bend over backwards.
For you.
Yeah. That's something I had to do in my last with that Liz. She'd be like, "Well, she would be a bitch to me. Like, fuck it, just a bitch to me, just a fucking horrible person." She'd be like, "Oh, you can't," and then she'd be like, "I have depression." I'm like, "I don't fucking care. You're an asshole. It's not my problem, okay? I'm not the cause of your fucking issue. Don't take it out on me." And I'm horrible. I'm a horrible person. If you have problems, you do not want to be around me because I don't fucking care.
All right.
I just don't, man. So that was one of the things I had to deal with. Like, I'm like, yeah, how am I supposed to help you? Like, I can't. You're just fucking rude, man. You're just rude. And yeah, I get that it's because of something that's wrong and you can't really change it, but god damn it, neither can I, and I don't want to fucking put up with it. That's where I was with that, yeah. So it's stressful, and it sucks because I know it's not their fault, but it sure as fuck is not my fault, and I don't want to fucking have it taken out on me like it is.
It's like if you have an anxiety disorder, no one wants to see your fucking dog. God damn it.
Yeah.
All right, that one's one for me. Yeah.
I guess.
I
don't like dogs.
I don't need a fucking comfort dog. Fuck you.
I don't really like dogs, but I also don't like my cat, so maybe I just hate everything.
I pretty much hate people bringing pets anywhere besides their house.
Yeah.
Even then, when they have them in their house and they're in little fucking cages, fuck you.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, it's no life for an animal.
It's like when we walk to the park from here. There's a house with like a little thing where they put their dogs in. They have like 4 dogs and they're in this little like 8x8 fence area, and they're there all day and night as far as I could tell, and all they do is just sit there and bark and get mad at each other. It's like, why did you even buy a fucking dog?
Exactly.
Why did you buy a fucking dog if you're gonna put him in a fucking thing all day?
That's why I won't get one, because I'm gonna be gone all the fucking time.
You're not gonna be able to. The dog needs your attention. The dog needs like
love. I don't have any more love to give.
Right? You don't have any love to give. So then, like, if you don't have the space for a dog, then don't buy a fucking dog.
Yeah.
How about that?
Man, we really got derailed here, didn't we?
I don't give a fuck.
Where did it come from? Where did it even come from?
You said something about me not believing in
Oh, because we talked about the Charlie horses, which came from... I don't know where that came from, to be honest.
No, you had to get drunk.
Oh, for the 13
For the
stuff.
13
Oh, wow. So this came from a theorized future episode that neither of us want to do.
Okay.
That's right. I forgot.
So, yeah. Take your ODD and shove it.
Yeah. I still... Oh, man. It's something. It's the disease that, like, you just feel dizzy sometimes. I can't remember what it's called, though. It's like... That one sounds like bullshit to me, but I don't know.
I feel dizzy sometimes just randomly, yeah. It's usually when I haven't... So I'm wondering if whatever the fuck you're talking about is, so I can look it up.
Vertigo, that's what it is. Vertigo sounds like bullshit to me.
I don't think that's bullshit.
Vertigo sounds like absolute
No,
bullshit.
isn't that like an inner ear possible thing?
Oh, yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
I think some people think they have vertigo, but they're just lazy. But again, I am an asshole, so I don't know.
I get dizzy if I haven't had enough physical activity. I start feeling like shit.
Yeah. You know
Which
what?
is odd because I'm so fucking fat because I haven't had enough physical activity. So
Yeah.
You think I would have like learned a lesson,
No.
but no.
No. Yeah. So
What were you about to say?
I don't remember. Actually.
Okay,
I
cool.
lost it. So let us talk
important.
about. Well, we got a couple questions. At least one. Vertigo, I don't think it's always bullshit, but I think what it is some people say they have it, and I just kind of doubt it. So I'm not saying like it doesn't exist, like you're saying ODD isn't real. I'm saying like it does. There are just a lot of people. It's kind of like ADD. A lot of people that think they have it, and I just don't think they actually have it. I think they're just fucking lazy, and they don't want to get up and do stuff, and that's why. Which is fine. They probably have depression, which is something else that's real.
Or they have like an addiction to their phone.
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Oh, I have ADD. No, you're normal, but everybody has the fucking distraction device in front of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Some people are. Yeah, I am not going to let any of the children that are near me have phones until they are like 15. That is not
Flip phone time.
never. Fab 5, we're talking like old school, like they have 5 people they can call.
Nokia brick.
Yeah. With Snake, they can learn Snake. That's fine. They can play Snake. That's it.
My concern is the sexting, because I know how bad I was at like 16. I'm wondering like today with the smartphones as they are, ooh, that is asking for trouble.
Yeah.
That's asking for trouble. I had a flip phone, man. I don't even know if I would have. I've never sent a dick pic, but I'm wondering if I would.
You
have.
sent one to us last night.
Oh, that was a joke. I sent him a black screen and said the lights are off, but this is my dick.
Yeah, isn't that a dick pic though? Like it's just a bad lighting.
Okay, I sent one.
That's like saying that I, Frankenstein isn't a movie. It's still a movie. It's just a really bad movie. It's just a really bad picture.
Come on,
you're losing your touch. You need to
Okay,
put some
fine.
filters on there. make it like a beige solid color
God.
instead.
I'll make it look old school.
Yeah. All right. So, Final Fantasy ideas for games from Stephen White. So I was asking myself, what kind of Final Fantasy I would like to see. Kind of like abstract ideas for a new game. Anyways, his idea was a decent take on the series. He would like it to be an origin game of the summons. Like the party members would be the summons. Limit breaks would be their Mega, Flare, Diamond Dust, etc. I would give them job classes. My question is, who would you pick as the party cast up to 7 characters, and what job classes would you give them?
Oh, Jesus. Schweiss, why didn't you tell
Also-
me this was a question beforehand?
I didn't check. Also, who would be the lead character? For example, my lead character would be Bahamut / Dark Bahamut. Odin / Samurai, Alexander, Holy Knight, Phoenix. Lead girl, White Mage, Ramu, Black Mage, Shiva, the Archer, Ifrit, the Berserker. I'm curious to know your thoughts on the topic, and if anybody else has any other abstract ideas for a Final Fantasy. Sorry for the long question, but I had to get my full thought out there. Thanks, Mother Uffers.
Wow. Wait.
I say
We have to make a party of 7 people? Summons?
I say we make our own. I like his idea for the summons, but I would make it based on the enemies in the game. I would take the very iconic Cactuar, Toneberry. Probably go with. I'd go Chocobo. Chocobo, Moogle. I know Moogle's been done in 6 as a main party character, but I would add a Moogle. So let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably a Behemoth, and that would be like my Berserker massive damage dealer, like really not possible to kill character. What else? The Bomb. I would do a Bomb. I'd have to have a Bomb. Those are pretty iconic. They're like the simplest design ever, but Bomb. And the final one. Fuck. A wolf, yeah. For like the first 70 games in the series, have like wolf enemies. Dire wolf, that's what I do. I do a dire wolf, House Stark, and I would make those my main characters. And this is something that kind of seems like it might be part of that new World of Final Fantasy game, because I know they have. I've seen your characters using. Oh shit, Toneberry. Yeah, did I say Toneberry?
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay, well, yeah. I feel like I've seen them using, equipping the enemies. It's this weird stacking thing that they have, so that might kind of dive into that, but I know there's a character roster in that game. So I would make it about the origins of these creatures. Because one thing Final Fantasy does kind of poorly is, generally, is justifying the monsters. One of the big examples that comes to my mind is in FF11. There's a giant desert area with very little vegetation that has giraffe creatures. Now, I hate to be a dick, but I'm like, why is there a giraffe? There are no trees. Everything is on the ground. How did these giraffes evolve? And what the fuck were they eating when they evolved? I would like a little bit more origin story for.
Are you saying God didn't just put him there like that?
No. And I think it would be kind of a fun and interesting concept for the games, like these random monsters. And the monsters, I would say the monsters have their own. It can be like a semi-RTS kind of game or like a strategy sort of game where you're trying to kill the heroes. Because the heroes are just out there killing all your people, grinding out levels on you, the Cactuars, and you, the Toneberries, and just slaughtering you by the thousands, especially the wolves. The wolves are the worst off out of all of the races that I chose to go with. And your objective would be to fight back the human scourge and dwindle their population to basically none. So it would be the opposite Final Fantasy, where instead of playing humans and attacking all these monsters to level up, you'd be playing monsters attacking the humans to get your level up and to make it the desolate world of Final Fantasy 1 and 2, where there are 6 people per village that are really fucking strong, I'm sure, but everybody else got killed off. They got killed off because of these monsters that you are playing as.
I would say there's some sort of hero involved. Maybe I don't know, like Cloud or Squall or something like that, and they live in a big castle that they took over from whatever person that they were there. And yeah, there's some sort of extinction thing, like your species is near extinction. I only have 3 guys that I would definitely have in my party.
So just a stagnant party of 3,
just a regular party of 3.
Okay,
Behemoth, Marlboro. And
Marble,
a healing chocobo. So I'd be able to
tactics of.
I'd be able to heal. I'd be able to do crazy stat shit on the others, and then my behemoth will of course destroy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my main party. But yeah, I would say they would have to take their job is to go one by one through each kingdom and murder every single human being. Eat them to gain their powers, of course. That's how you gain power from your enemy.
Oh, that's right.
Is to eat them.
Yeah, of course, I've heard that.
And then you move on to the next area.
You eat their heart.
Until finally it's between you and Squall. And, of course, you must then defeat Squall, eat Squall, and now you're the ruler of the new kingdom of beasts.
Interesting story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my.
I think that would actually be kind of a cool fucking game, to be honest. It would almost be like the alternate version of FF3 where you play as the Warriors of Darkness.
Yeah.
Except for in FF3, it's kind of the yin yang thing.
Except you're a fiend and you must kill the warrior.
Yeah. I think that would actually be pretty cool. The Warrior of Light is the final boss.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
And like it pulls save data, so like so all that grinding you
God.
did in like all the other Final Fantasies, it's like now this game is insanely hard because
You got to get the special cord that connects to every single memory card.
And it's like, oh man, I 100%ed all of these. This is gonna be
shit. He's on level
bullshit.
99.
Like that sphere grid is full. I'm gonna have to one shot this guy. I think that'd be a sweet fucking game. I think it'd be a great game.
What are the other people saying?
Kane Highwind says, interesting concept. I would perhaps focus on a single summon, maybe just the path of Odin. Not 100% sure if there is official square lore behind Odin, but it would be nice if there wasn't. They could turn it into a human's journey into becoming a summon, or some such tale. Stephen White responds with, I was thinking something like a human to a summon kind of deal. I mean, anything kind of expanding on the summons. I feel like they're underutilized, and it would be cool to see any kind of story done with them. I just kind of like the idea of having the summons up in arms together. I mean, Odin and Bahamut are his favorites, so if they did choose one, he'd want them. I just would like some creativity with the FF world in general. Since most of the summons kind of fall off in the game, I'd like to see one where they played a more interactive or pivotal role. Farts Vandalay says he would love an FF game where you play the bad guys or a kind of anti-hero. One great example of this would be the first Legacy of Kain game, Blood Omen. Omni says it'd be cool to have a bad guy story. A Sephiroth story would be pretty neat. A few others in my mind would be Genova, Kuja, Garland, Yu Yevon, Ultimacia, or Arden. Haven't played the earlier games, or I'm sure I would agree with the Kain story. I know I need to play him. Okay, Yu Yevon, but a Civ 5 game.
No, Yu Yevon.
A Civ 5 game where all you use is religion. That would be what the Yu Yevon story would be, where you just send your prophets out, and then they just can pervert everyone to Yu Yevon, and you just kind of like pull everybody.
So now this discussion has just become about what other fucking game ideas do we have? Other spin-off games for FF series.
Make a real RTS. Make a real strategy game, I would say.
Yeah, strategy game would be interesting. I guess, you could play as Yu Yevon, certainly. Yeah. Would there be another scenario in Final Fantasy you could use a strategy game for? I mean, besides, of course, the really shitty ones where the weapons are coming out from the Condor, Operation Condor thing.
Oh, yeah, that was a pain in the ass. That's like a tower defense thing, though, which I don't want.
Maybe we can have another FF15 spinoff.
Yeah.
And instead of losing in Kingsclave, you recreate that entire situation. You play whatever team you're on, whether or not you're part of the Empire or if you're Niflheim, or Lucius or Lucia or whatever it is. You can fight as whatever side you're on.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just alternate ending kind of situations, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's fair. All right, so we have another really quick question that we totally answered, or you did on the forums, but we're going to put it on the show. Why was Type 0 Online nominated for UFF Best Game of 2017?
And we totally answered this on the show, too.
Because it was released in 2017, the online version. So
the online version of Online Type 0 was released in certain territories, I guess.
Yeah.
So all I did was look up all FF releases. There's a big Wikipedia page. I control F'd 2017, and
it got destroyed in the voting. So don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter.
But
didn't win.
Yeah. Oh shit, we still have to send out our awards. Oops.
Yeah,
guys, you know who won? Audience Maximus. So let us know what your addresses are. Send us an email at fffanatics123@gmail.com. Give us your address. We'll get those shipped out if you want them. If you don't, which I know Shinra always declines, don't worry about it, I guess. But let us know so we can get those shipped out to you guys. And thank you all for taking part in our 2017.
All right. Did we have any iTunes reviews?
I actually didn't even fucking check. So let's take a look.
Well, I pulled up the iTunes review page, the podbay.fm, and there's nothing. So we haven't used this drop in a long time. We've been really bad about checking for reviews. So take it.
Screen before me. No new reviews from you to me. Look at other shows. No new episodes. No iTunes reviews. No love for the show. Oh no, iTunes reviews.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the show. Please leave us an iTunes review if you have iTunes. Even if not, it won't hurt to do a little install.
Yeah,
and just do it for the review.
Yeah, you don't have to be an i fan to get iTunes. I don't have any Apple devices. I put them through the washing machine way too often to buy any new ones. And honestly, nowadays, like, why have an iPod? You can just have a phone, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't wash my phone. I've never washed my phone.
Oh,
I've watched every iPod
so
I've ever
you have a
fucking
dirty,
owned.
dirty phone.
I do, yeah, it's filth. It is very poor. And also, guys, please read along with us at thelifestream.net. You can find the Turks
Lateral Biography.
Lateral
Turks,
Biography.
The kids are all right.
Yes, please read along with us. Catch up to where we are today, and we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, check us out at Facebook, facebook.com/Ultima Final Fantasy. Our website is ultimafinalfantasy.com, where you can join our forums, ask us questions, give us news if you can. Thank you to Shinru for giving us news this week. You can tweet me at Joseph Igolier.
Me at UFF Podcast.
And if you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon page, which the links are on the website, and also links for an Amazon. Links for Amazon that you can click through, and whatever you get will give us a small kickback.
You can sub to our channel on Twitch if you guys have Amazon Prime. It is a free service. It's included with your Prime dealio. So if you ever watch Twitch, or if you don't watch Twitch, might as well give it to us, right? Give it to somebody. It's something that comes along with it. Just do it. Just do it.
We also have some other shows. Of course, you've heard of Nude Clan, because there's a lot of overlap between the shows now. NudeClan.net is where you can check that out. And also, I host a Godzilla podcast. If you're interested in kaiju movies, it's a great place to go. And we have a sister show now called Puff Puff Hour, a Dragon Quest podcast. So go check that out as well. I think that's it, Schweiss.
Yeah. Until next time, guys, enjoy a Tactics Advanced job grind.
Advanced 2.
Advanced 2. And not just job grind, but items.